Okay. Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hi, Kirsty. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, my dog is he's just, I don't know if he just wants to be part of the whole process. It's like having a 2-year-old child. He's so happy now. He's still whining. Oh my goodness. Dan, thanks for coming along and chatting to me as part of my little series of chats. So I've known Dan for 11 years, 10 years ago, would it be? So
yeah,
years ago.
2011.
Yeah, so Matthew's 11. So
yeah,
about that. I had a session called Park Fit, which was in the park, which is great. And Dan came in around the Sunday 9 o'clock session every week without fail. And that was when you were first starting out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We kind of teamed up to try and do a few more sessions in the weekend, other weekends with the Park Fit stuff, didn't we?
Yeah. Were you at Park Prep then?
No, I started with a great little company called Inspiring Fitness, which was all home-based.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember? And they were based up in Coventry. Great little company. I'm not sure if they're still going, actually. I hope so. But yeah, that's how I started, and then went on my own into Pucker Up, and from there into Inspiring Fitness, into Target Active.
Yeah. So do you want to introduce yourself, say who you are and what you've achieved and where you are now? It's all quite exciting.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm Dan, and started PTing in 2011. I'm PT, personal trainer, nutritionist, and a co-owner of Target Active Fitness, and we have a gym in Tewkesbury, and we've been running that since 2016, just up from Morrison's, and yeah, it's all very quite class based. We do lots of nutrition management, personal training, and general gym stuff as well. So it's all quite exciting.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a time actually with all COVID and everything, isn't it?
Yeah, flipping from being in the gym to online to back in the gym to back online is been interesting, hasn't it?
Well, let's hope we are taking my questions. Let's hope we're out of that now. So I messaged Dan because he's really good at motivation, and because as we do this, it's 1st of December, and I've noticed already people saying, "Kirsty, I haven't got time. It's December." And fitness and well-being starts to go to the bottom of the list. But both of us have a massive passion about fitness and well-being, always need to be there somehow. So my question to you, Dan, how do you encourage these people? I mean, someone's probably listening to this going, "Oh, that was me. I'm not." I completely understand. I'm just trying to motivate you back.
I'm going to get shouted at right now.
No, it's a supportive chat. It's supportive of motivation.
Well, I think I've jotted a few notes down from the questions you sent over and stuff, and I think obviously depending on when you're starting from, but firstly, you've got to find something you enjoy. I think if you're trying to do something you don't enjoy and you try and stick with it, you're eventually going to stop. You're going to go less and less, and you're not going to carry on. So your adherence is going to drop right off. So I think that's one of the first things. So you might try a few things. I mean, we both like a multitude of different things. I'm from a rugby-based background, team sports. I like hitting the gym and doing some resistance training. I also like that kind of CrossFit Metcon stuff, and I like going for a run. So you might do 2 or 3 different things which you enjoy: swimming on a Sunday and then running on a Wednesday, or something along those lines, and coupling that with some. I
think it's really important, because I think a lot of the time people go and do something, like they might sign up to the gym because that's the usual thing to do, isn't it? Yep. And then you pay a gym membership, and then 3 months later you haven't been because you don't enjoy it. So it's doing. So one of my clients went to Clubbercise the other day. She absolutely loved it. It was like disco rods and everything. I'm like, but that's brilliant. And she enjoyed it. And she enjoys the gym. She enjoys coming to me for PT, which is great.
So doing lots of different things. So try these things out. If you're going to join a gym, then get involved in what they've got going on outside of your PT session or outside of your gym induction session that they've given you, or whatever it might be. Do other things as well. That's what it's all there for.
Yeah, it's quite scary, that first leap, isn't it? Because you're a very social gym, aren't you?
Yeah, it is. We are, yeah. We like a bit of a party, and we are very social. We're very class based, and I get it. And it can be very daunting for people to come in, and that's where you keep your motivation up a little bit with some support. So find a friend, go with a gym buddy, step out of that comfort zone if you can, and introduce yourself or meet people at the small independents, because we do care about what your names are. You're not just numbers. So it's who are you going with. Meet people there, they'll encourage you to come back, and hopefully you have a good time. So that also will help you want to go. And so it doesn't become then, oh, I've got to go and get fit. I'm actually going to be enjoying myself.
And it's to find a friend, but also like find a coach. And like us as PTs, I go to the Stronghold, and Dave and Tom are always, so I go somewhere to be told what to do because I need to be coached. Yeah. And it's good for me because I go somewhere, I'm not planning the session, whereas when I'm doing my own sessions, I'll probably stop halfway through and change it a little bit, or see something in the gym that needs to be changed or cleaned, or, whereas when you're in a session, and there was, so I'm part of Lift the Bar, which is brilliant. I think I've talked to you about it. It's a personal trainer group, mentorship group. And Chris, who's the leader, was saying about 12-week challenges, because I've just run a 12-week challenge. And he said there's studies to be shown that after a 12-week challenge, you don't suddenly become self-sustainable. You have to do another one and another one again, because we're always needing to be coached and reminded. And I think that's so important. And it's okay to go and ask for help. I think it's so powerful, because I think people think, oh, I know what to do, I should know how to do it.
I'm with you there completely as well, because it's not just that. I mean, I do train at my own place, but I also go and train with my mate who owns the CrossFit box in Tewkesbury, and I go there because it's a change of scenery. I get coached. I can work on things that I'm not very good at, and I can be with friends that I've got that are outside of the gym as well, so different social groups, and I enjoy it, and it's what keeps you going as well. So you like that element of it. The community is great, and so you find that if you're not having to think, if you are busy and you don't want to do your own coaching, and you can't do it because it's not actually fun making your own session up. I don't want to do my own coaching. I do it all day. I'd like to have somebody else do it for me, please.
That's so true, because I love programming, but I like someone else to program for me. I like programming for other people. So and that's the thing, and that's the other thing about motivation, is that when you do join something, like you were saying, like, make the most of it. Make sure you know all the opportunities are. So we kind of said about tips to stay motivated. How did you start your fitness journey? Was it originally from being a sporty child?
I always enjoyed athletics and rugby and team sports at school. And then do you remember the whole, what you're going to do for a career stuff that you had to put into a computer when you were at school?
Yeah.
That came out as a sport, with a sports background.
What did you? I was always a fish farmer.
A fish. I was professional sportsman. So does the PT count as that? We can weigh that up one way or the other. I'm not sure. But originally, that didn't come about until 2011. Actually, I did a few other things until then, but was still sporty and still into team sports and stuff. And then decided to turn the hobby into a career, and off we went, really, and that's how it started. And
you've never looked back, have you?
No, that's right. So that's why. So that
you've had bumps. I bet you've had bumps along the way when your motivation has gone.
Oh God, yeah. When you have an injury, or it starts to get, the weather starts to come in, and because I get up early, I like to get up early if I can, or I have early clients, and so you try and train either before or just after. But getting out of bed to start training at 6 o'clock in the morning when it's -2 outside is not fun. so I take my hats off to the guys that do that every day, but sometimes I just roll over it. So I'll do that later. So I'm fortunate in that I can do it at my own place as well. So that's one thing. But it's to stay motivated. That doesn't mean you've lost your motivation, but it's a little bump. So you kind of have a plan B. So if I'm late for work, or I didn't get up this morning, what's my plan B? If I can't make the gym tonight at 6 o'clock, okay, can I go for a 30-minute run instead? What am I going to do tomorrow? If I've missed my lunchtime slot, can I do something at home? Have I got a little session plan in place that I can I don't like it too much, but it's my plan B that I could do in my front room, because we've all worked out at home over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's just filtering in having those plan Bs, if you like, and making sure they are planned. Right, I'm going to go to the gym today. Damn it, my boss has done something and I can't leave work. I'm going to miss that session. What have I got planned in that I can do instead?
Yeah, so it's that prioritising, planning all the time. I'm the same, and it's knowing that you're not always going to enjoy it, and that's okay. Like, we want to enjoy it most of the time, but there might be some sessions that but yeah, it's hard, because I know that this month in December, what I find, I mean, me, myself included, last week, I suddenly felt Christmas suddenly descending, and actually had some Christmas decorations up behind me. I took them down because they're a bit fussy this week. But you start to think Christmas is here, I need to get Christmas presents, need to get food in, I need to clean the house. And so everything starts descending, and you just think you don't have time. Actually, fitness and well-being is so important. I mean, we've both been in situations when it's been harder to do it, but that's our job now. I see this, my job this month is to inspire and motivate people.
Well, just slightly aside from just this month alone, but when you're just generally feeling demotivated, and it happens, and I've had that before, is I also don't, and this might sound a little bit counterintuitive, because you know it's like we employ techniques to snap out of it or move around it, but sometimes it's just okay to sit with it for a bit and just say, you know what, I'll just have less of a week. I've only managed to go twice this week. All right, I can keep focused on my diet a little bit. I can make sure that I eat better. I still eat well and all that type of thing. But there's nothing wrong with just deloading and taking it down a notch. Just sit with the fact that you feel a bit demotivated. Do something that that you know that you're going to get done, you enjoy, and then build it up again from there. And I've done that a number of times, certainly over the last year, but I've not really felt it. I've gone, you know what, I'm just going to take a step back from actually training myself, and then come back into it and hit it hard when it kind of comes back a bit. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and it's just listening to your body as well, isn't it? So you mentioned nutrition. So with my reset programs, I do more and more nutrition now, and it's really interesting. And we go, quite basic and energy balance, calories in, calories out, but we go much deeper into emotional eating, mindful eating, tra la 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 la. Yeah. So you've been doing lots of nutrition qualifications and learning as well, haven't you? So what are your what do you find your top tips for nutrition are with your clients? Because we've probably got a similar but different client base.
Well, I think it's very easy to fit. It's very easy to put everybody in like a one size fits all. And I think that if you really need to help with people on a more personal basis. So that's the first thing, is what I do myself is look at like what are their specific habits and the needs currently. But in terms of what are my top tips, it's kind of like, well, back to basics. There's so many things out there which are telling you this is the best product for this, and this is the best product for that, and this is the best that's going to help you do this. But actually, we can just take it back to basics. Eat natural food primarily, from a fruit and veg based, plant-based diet primarily, whole grains, animal products if you're not vegetarian or vegan, and kind of just then everything else can kind of build around that. Are you sleeping well enough? Are you hydrated?
I think Kate has just arrived home from hockey. The dog might bark. Let me just go and let her in the front door. Oh, she's coming in. Yeah. Nothing like being live, family life.
No, I'm surprised Ava hasn't made the appearance after she walked in absolutely soaking wet about 2 minutes before we came on.
Yeah, Kate is coming from hockey, soaked. Yeah, stripping it back to basics.
Stripping it back to basics. I kind of coined it a little bit like, how Granny used to cook. You'd have she would cook. Everybody cooked from fresh. And that's how it primarily should be. And I say you can't go far wrong, but a varied diet as well. Eating from all the rainbows, the rainbow coloring, and all that type of stuff. We hear that quite a bit, and actually that's the foundation, as well as good water intake and all those sorts of things. And things build on from there. We can then talk about when we come into weight loss, what tips you're going to use then. But again, that's a very individual thing as well. Sometimes people just don't like eating breakfast, and they say, as an example, and then they say, oh, that's bad, isn't it? No, If you
Yeah.
don't like eating breakfast, just eat later in the day. You don't have to force feed yourself just because Kellogg's have told you that you're supposed to eat breakfast in the morning. You can have something later on. It's absolutely fine. So that's one thing I would say. And when it comes to, again, if we're talking about a weight loss goal, because if we have weight loss goals, then again, look at your calorie intake in your diet first. That's the main thing. People sometimes try and take on too much. So again, right, diet first, because it's shown that we've seen studies that have been done on that dieting short term, rather on its own, as opposed to diet and exercise, can be just as effective as diet and exercise. So get your diet right, and then as you get longer term, then you can bring the exercise in. I also, another thing I find it helpful with people, if we're on a weight loss goal, is that having a weight range to try and stick within. So I won't just go, right, let's get you to 74 kilos. Let's keep you between 74 to 76. And over time, as that fluctuates, you can see it fluctuate. Because if you're eating wholesome food and you're eating well and you're nourished, you can see a swing of weight, and total weight changes quite dramatically, or it can do. But over time, if you keep yourself within that range, you can still enjoy a mince pie, as you mentioned, and you can still enjoy a beer or a glass of wine. You can allow for that. And as you start to get towards the top end of that, you can say, okay, I need to trim things back a little bit, and then you can come back down, and that peaking and troughing then becomes a flat line as you move forwards. So as far as tips are concerned, I guess they're not really tips, they're more kind of like habit-based processes, really.
It reminds people, though, I think, doesn't it? It just reminds people, because we get so lost in the humdrum of life.
Yeah.
Just to strip it back.
Cook from fresh, primarily plant-based. Yes, protein is important, but you can get that from a multitude of different sources. And also, if you come to someone like you or like me that says, okay, let's have a look at what we're doing. The goals are, what are your goals here? And you want to either gain weight or lose weight, or you want to get stronger. And protein becomes quite a big part of that, because that is the granddaddy of the macros. Then people worry about taking on whey protein, and so if they think, oh, that's a sports supplement. It's not. It's a food. It just let's use it as a tool to have some vanilla whey protein in yogurt in the mornings, and some fruit on top. It's a great, quick, easy way to get a good amount of protein in your diet to start off with straight away. That's 35 grams. There you go. And sometimes people can struggle to get protein in, but little tips like that are easy to build in.
And it's more nutritious snack as well. When people are looking for that quick fit snack, it's good then as well. So I said to Dan earlier about, it's always about trying to find the balance. And people want to be able to have, the mince pies, I'm saying that because it's December and I love mince pies. But you just see on social media that everyone starts scaremongering, and it's really not the case. It's about having the balance and knowing, isn't it? Knowing, people, if you're going to have loads of mince pies every day, there's obviously going to be a change in the energy balance, but you're probably not going to do that.
You're not on the right side of that balance, are you?
No.
I find, again, if we're worried about Christmas time and again with weight loss, then you've got to manage your expectations of what you're going to be doing at Christmas. If you've had a busy November, if you've been wanting to lose weight for the last 6 months and you've done nothing about it until now, is now the right time to start?
Yeah.
Or do we think, right, actually, you know what, I could potentially get a couple of pounds off before Christmas, before the real Christmas festivities begin. Yeah. And you can make that quite process orientated. You can start tracking your food. You can give yourself checklists. You don't necessarily need to use MyFitnessPal. You can just say, right, actually, you know what, I'm gonna make sure I tick off my protein portions today, or if I've had a pint today, and I'm going to limit myself to 3 pints this week, and just to make sure that I monitor what I'm doing in another way. Am I tracking my steps or my general activity? And then you kind of manage what you're expecting to happen. If we've been losing weight for 6 months, and we can now say to ourselves, well, actually, you know what, I'm just going to maintain over Christmas now. Thanks very much, and I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm not going to go mental with it all and suddenly pig out, but I'm going to just keep an eye on what my weight's doing and enjoy myself, but not let it get too hard, not let myself get too high.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good thing what you just said about if you've been wanting to do this for ages and you haven't started yet, but you're thinking now, just doing the little bits. And I always talk about your inner motivation, like why do you want to do this? What is your goal? Is it important enough that you want to do this? Because actually any time, you don't have to go full on when you want to do fat loss, weight loss, or you don't have to go like a steam train. You can go slow and steady. So I just did a 12-week challenge, and it was slow and steady wins the race. And whereas the 6 weeks, when I do a 6-week reset, it's not a quick win. It's about trying to get sustainable lifestyle changes, but it's a bit more.
Well, I think as long as you're promoting healthy habits, then you can change and chop between the different protocols that you can have. So if somebody has a fair amount of weight they want to lose, then is there anything wrong with saying, right, okay, for the first couple of weeks we can absolutely crash you down, and then we're going to build back in, we're going to look to maintain for a bit, and then we're going to look at a more programmed method, or we can just go nice and steady straight away, or we can go down we're going to drop carbs down, or we're going to go low fat. But as long as we're teaching these clients and these individuals why we're doing this, what's actually happening, and the process, and promoting good habits with a view at the end, we should be trying to get our clients just to be we shouldn't be looking at tracking or logging. I've not tracked and logged anything for years, pretty much. And because we're trying to teach and educate with process that we're doing, then you can chop and change between these different ways of doing things as long as it's right for the individual.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's being sustainable, and what I find is that people go and then carry on, but then quite often you come back and you do need a coach again, and that's okay, isn't it? So you want to be sustainable, you want to be getting used to every day drinking enough water, having a range of vegetables, getting enough sleep, and tra la 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 la. So with my resets, that's what people tend to do, but then they'll come back and have a different focus. And it's trying not to go for the massive quick wins. I find if people go for that quick win, like just having whatever, shouldn't.
It's weird. I agree with depending on the product choice when it comes to quick wins, but it's been an interesting learning process for me as an individual as well, who's in especially when it comes to nutrition and weight loss, is that if you've got somebody who needs to lose 5 or 6 stone, and we say to them, we're going to go down 1 pound a week, that's a massive demotivator straight away. So how do we then keep that motivation up? If we go for a quick win to start with, it gives massively quick results, massive motivation. Then you slow it down and you plan this out with the individual over months. We're not talking about, right, we're just going to get you started and off we go, and we'll do a weekly check-in, let's see what happens. But you've got the plan in place over the next 6, 12 months. We're going to do this, this, this. We're going to break here. We're going to do this, 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 and then off we go. Then that's the buy-in on that is huge.
I like that.
But again, it's about promoting healthy habits all the way through. And also that might not be right, just because that person has a lot of weight to lose potentially, it might not be right for them as an individual. Are they right? Are they in the right frame of mind for that? What's their history? They might have a huge history of problems with food and with their relationship with food. And again, is that then the right person to put into that type of protocol? Maybe not. It's very, very individual and needs to be really considered.
So and the other question, we've sort of talked about it. What would you suggest for those who've got a busy social calendar coming up? Because that's quite a few questions I'm getting at the moment. They've got a night out with work on Wednesday, and then they've got a night with friends on the Friday, and then the Saturday, and then they've got a family gathering on the Sunday lunchtime. I mean, we're all getting quite excited because we can do that now.
Choose. You have to choose. If you're going to have a busy social calendar, you have to choose, and then again manage those expectations. What have I written down here? I actually wrote something down for this. And manage those expectations. So if you're going to go out 4 nights in a week, and you've got that for 3 weeks, right? And you're going to be eating and drinking a lot during that time. Well, firstly, you're going to feel pretty awful, I imagine. That's not going to do your guts any good whatsoever. but I would say, right, you have to kind of pick and choose your moments as well, even at this time of year. How heavy are you going to go first and foremost? But then again, you can employ little protocols like, okay, I've eaten, again, the plan B. What's my plan B? Right, so I'm going to go down the road of, right, I've had a busy social night. My example, last weekend, I went out 2 nights last weekend, Friday and Saturday night. So then I fasted Monday, and I pretty much ate very little on Tuesday as well, to kind of just rein it back in again. So I'm not suggesting for a minute that anybody starves themselves, but you can, again, things like intermittent fasting, we say, or just not eating for a longer period of time, can help you offset those extra calories that you're eating. But let's not forget that it's so easy to still go over, even if you save a few hundred each day or 500 each day. It doesn't take much to bring you back up to a maintenance level of calories if you're going to drink a lot of wine or a lot of beer and eat pudding, and you're going to do that a couple of times over the weekend. So there's an element of picking and choosing your moments, but also then, rein it back in by going light, drinking plenty of water afterwards and beforehand if you can.
Yeah, and choosing, if you're going somewhere, often you can choose what you're going to eat before you go, if it's eating. And then sometimes what some people do is they have a little snack before they go, so they don't get there really hungry. And that sometimes helps. And it's thinking that your energy in is a bit like money. So if we keep spending, like you're taking in loads and loads and loads of calories, it's a bit like when you spend more money, you end up going into debt. And so it's just trying to have that balance. So if you have a really expensive Friday, Saturday night, spending whatever in money, you then put it back for the rest of the week, a bit like you did on the Monday. And that's what we do with finance. So it's a bit like a health, isn't it?
or expect, it is a bit like health, or expect that you're going to be, if you don't do that and you don't want to do that and you want to live it up over the Christmas period, expect don't think that all of us, don't start crying when you jump on the scales January the 1st and realize actually you've put on half a stone, because you have to manage those expectations. And that's not me pointing fingers and saying told you so. It's a case of, right, what are we doing? I've got a busy social calendar. If you're going to go out and live it large, you're going to have to expect the stats to reflect what you're doing.
Yeah, because it's that energy balance at the end of the day, and just having that balance. Just a child with rugby ball running past, as you do inside, in shorts when it's raining outside.
But again, it also buys in. It also feeds back into what was the rest of your year like.
Yeah.
If you've had a really good year and you've maintained your weight throughout the year, or you've lost a significant amount of weight, or you've gained a load of fitness throughout the year, you probably can afford to allow yourself a little bit of time off, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
And so great, have some fun. But again, when it comes to January, again, it's back on it, right? Get my fitness back, lose some.
We're going to probably have a chat. I reckon we'll have a chat again in January, saying about getting back on it, because that's the hard bit, isn't it? It's trying to keep it steady. So I talk about non-negotiables quite a lot. I say have your child with snack and rugby ball. I don't know why why do boys have to walk around holding a rugby ball? I don't quite get that.
Maybe well, I do. I get it completely. I get it completely.
Anyway, so I talk about non-negotiables quite a lot. So your non-negotiable things that your fundamentals throughout the week. For example, like I am going to have planned exercise on 2 or 3 times a week. I am going to make sure I drink at least 2 liters of water. I am going to make sure I have my 5 portions of fruit and veg. So actually, as people go into a busy period, if you keep your non-negotiables, that really helps, because it keeps you on track as well. So if you had your non-negotiables in a kitchen.
But don't forget, if you've got your non-negotiables, are fine, but sometimes they're negotiable. And what's plan B? What's plan B? What am I doing after that? Yes, I am planning to train, like you say, 3 times this week. I'm planning to drink 2 liters of water. But what happens if I don't? So then I've got a fallback position to also play on and make sure I have.
Yeah. and being able to start again and not beat yourself up, because life happens. I mean, life happens, and we're human beings, and we've got emotions. And I think, you know, we should be proud of our emotions. We're human beings. We're always saying sorry for our emotions, aren't we? But we're all emotional. I've got, my cheeks are getting redder. I've got a cold. I think I'm getting Caitlin's cold more and more by the second when I'm sitting here. Anyway, so my business, Infinite Balance, is all about the balance, all about trying to keep the balance of physical, emotional, social, nutritional well-being. Sometimes it's a bit more, sometimes it's a bit less.
Yeah.
You're looking at your notes now, aren't you? So
I'm looking at your notes.
Oh, my notes. Oh dear, everyone's ringing me doing this. So what do you try to do? I think we know already from this chat. What do you do to try and keep a balance in your life, Dan?
I do try and train as much as I can. I try and train every day. Sometimes when I don't, that the fact that I've already done it is helps. Again, I try and plan it. I try and keep the balance by planning it. I keep myself within a weight range that we talked about earlier on. So if I notice that I'm creeping towards the top end of that weight range, I rein it back in and I get a little bit stricter. I might then re-employ tracking my food just to make sure I'm getting my volume right. Then when I'm happy with that, I'll let that go. Same things, little habits, drinking plenty of water, although some people, when they watch this, might disagree and say, yeah, water mixed with caffeine, Dan. So I drink probably too much coffee. But and then you know, with that side of things, with training and that side, but also I do try to make sure that I'll take time for myself and plan that in as well. So whether that's just having my own sessions, seeing friends, resting, allowing that when you have a hectic period of time, saying, right, you know what, I just need to take a step back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's so important, isn't it? And we don't do it enough. I probably don't do it enough.
And then listening to and making sure that I stay up together with our industry. So I like listening to people like Ben Kuma and Martin McDonald, Shona Virtue, Phil Lerney, people like that, who are great influencers, speak a lot of good sense when it comes to diet, fitness, and health, and it kind of just keeps you in the know that actually the approach you're taking is on point as well, and that kind of helps you kind of like reset as well. You know, taking time to go, actually, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I'm the same, and the fact that we can all chat and be on the same kind of pathway as well, which is great. So I had my bike fixed by Gareth from GC Cycles. He came round today because I only had one brake working, which wasn't very safe. And he came round and he said, oh, you're really busy on social media. And he says, I like your little motivation. I see it most days. I said, oh, I put it on quite a lot. And he went, no, don't change it. It's great. He goes, it gives me a little, you know, and it's about motivation. Motivation comes from so many sources. It's having people on your social media accounts that motivate you and don't bring you down. I mean, we haven't even touched on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's about having people around you who motivate you as well, because quite often, this is a whole different thing about motivation now, but when you're around people who are not motivating you, it can pull you down, can't you? Or I mean, I went away for a weekend with some of my girlfriends and we went for a run and it was amazing. You know, we wouldn't usually do that, and so we all felt motivated. But yeah, there's so much to the motivation.
I think that's exactly it. It's also just finding those extra little bits. You know, just I don't go cycling very often, but you know, if I do or if I have done with a friend, because it's something that I don't do very often, I like being taken to school. So this is your expertise here. You take it there, and then you come back, you feel motivated, you want to crack on, or having time out. You know, coming back from holiday feeling motivated to get back into work. You know, because we all kind of get a little bit tired sometimes. So doing those other little things, being with other people, seeking out other people that are positive and want to help you and inspire you to do things. You know, in whether it's your business, developing your business, in your fitness, health, nutrition. That these might be 5 or 6 different people. It doesn't all come from one person.
Yeah, so I talk about it quite a lot with emotional eating. Find your 5 things. So quite often people say they're just, on a break, they're working from home and they keep going and same thing. So I was thinking about think of your 5 things, 5 people to talk to, 5 mindfulness tasks to do. So loads of 5 things. So you've just got things in your brain that you can go and do, and to help motivate you as well.
I keep quotes in a file I call on my phone with mindset. And so if I see or have a quote that I like the sound of, or it fits with me and my personality, I'll save it and put it in a mindset folder. And anytime I'm feeling a little bit out of character, or a little bit grumpy, or a little bit, the world can do one, I'll just kind of read a couple of the quotes from the mindset. Some of them are funny, some of them are quite deep, some of them are a bit arrogant, dare I say, but again, it just kind of perks you up a little bit, and also I'm not afraid of asking for help either. So that's an important thing. If you feel low, or got a great friendship network, great people that can say, just you can vent to, or you can be low around, and they're not going to judge who you are and how you do things, because they know you on a good day, so they still love you when you're on a bad day, and that's important as well.
So true. We've just covered quite a lot in there.
We
said we were going to do this. Remember, it must have been about when did I start? 3 years ago, I came to visit you in Target Active when I'd started to come back to PT, and I was like, oh my goodness, I've forgotten everything. And you were like, wouldn't it be great if we could just have a chat and record it? That was really kind of before podcasts were really around as well. And so, yeah,
it
great.
was.
Yeah, I think there was probably a podcast, but now podcasts. I love listening to podcasts. They help motivate me, actually, when I'm going running. Sometimes I have a podcast to listen to. Sometimes it's music to make me feel like I'm in a nightclub. Sometimes it's chilled. It's just, I always need motivation from different sources. And I think it's just saying, I think what we're saying, isn't it? It's okay. It's okay to need motivation from different sources, and reach out and ask for help, and join a group, and do it for you. But it is really important to look after our fitness and well-being. It's we've got a lady who I was training this morning who started 4 weeks ago. Her steps have gone from 2,000 to over 10,000 most days. She's eating well. Her sciatica is gone, and she feels like she's empowered.
Oh, the power of movement is phenomenal. I think you'll have seen that about 3 years ago, I started training a guy he's just absolutely phenomenal. He had a quite a severe stroke 6 years ago, and when he walked in, he was heavy, and he couldn't really move very well at all. And in line with his consultant in Leamington Spa, he's lost 35 kilos, and his movement is just phenomenal. And I never would have imagined just doing some resistance training, a little bit of cardio, gently to start with. His progress has been absolutely fantastic.
I've seen him on your social media.
And to the point where his consultants are saying, we've never expected this. We've never expected this to be like this for you. And it's been wonderful, and that's all down to his hard work and dedication to what he's done, with a little bit of guidance. But when you talk about the power of movement, her sciatica's gone. We tend to there's a tendency to maybe, this is sore, so I'll rest it and I won't move. But actually, let's, depending on what it is, obviously, keeping mobile is extremely important.
Yeah, for your mind and your body.
Yeah, very much.
Well, I'm going to go and have another Lemsip now, I think. I had a Lemsip yesterday before I trained, and I think we did about 1,000 burpees. Nice. And literally, I was on it, and I think it was from the Lemsip.
I'm going to go and see if this child of mine has hung the wet clothes that she walked into out.
Hopefully she's got changed. I think it was peeled off her cold hockey clothes. And well, we have an evening with no sport tonight, so that is really nice. Oh, I'm going out for dinner actually with my husband. It's 20 years since we got together.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh my goodness, that's a long time. So so that's exciting. Anyway.
Well, it's great to see you.
I hope you have a nice evening.
You too. Take care.